We have a brand new collection from Hunkydory. It's called Memorable Moments. And for this webisode, Lene is helping us out and has done some wonderful things. So please come play with us. Now, before we get into the projects, I just want to explain something about this set because it's really different. Now, the Memorable Moments has an ability to make 32 cards. Now, that's at least 32 cards, which is a double amount from what we can usually do, and that's great. And what it has is 207 gold and silver foil die cut, 16 foiled cardstock, 16 printed, plus the idea sheet that is right here, and plus what Lene has done. Now, in addition, we have the inserts, which is great, and we know how useful those are. But as something different, we have this parchment. And the parchment is, it's called Pretty Pattern Printed Parchment. Say that 3 times fast. But it is white on parchment, and it just gives some beautiful effects, and Lene has used much of this. And then a favorite of ours and yours is the little book of, this is of course Memorable Moments, and this has 144 sheets. So anyway, that's what we're going to be working with. So let me get into the projects and show you exactly what Lene has done. So we're going to start with that little book of Memorable Moments, and this time we're using this image. Now, this image is going to be repeated in the Topper collection, and so that's going to be useful. And what we have are these sheets. Now, this is the one that Lene used. It measures, the whole book measures actually 4 inches by 5 3/4 inches. And as I said, there are 144 sheets with 24 designs, so you get 6 of each one. I could do that math. Now, she is using our regular 5 by 6.5 inch card, and she did not need to do any trimming or anything. Just use this as it comes. These are all single-sided and just have a really large image. Now, what I think is really fun is to see this, how it is printed, and then just what a little pop it gives just with the addition of that ribbon. And that is from our Glimmer ribbon sets. These are all 1/4 inch, and they do have that bit of a shine, so that's really kind of fun. Now, she did mat it on black cardstock, so that is an additional thing that she had. And then she used one of the inserts, and many of the inserts, all of the inserts, have that ghosted back image. There's also included some that are papers, and so that's neat. They're double-sided. In this case, you can see Lene used this area to mat her, to do a second mat on this little book of, so that works really easily. And I love those toned down colors, the gray and the black, because it really lets those balloons pop. Now, the other thing that she added, and I told you about the parchment, and here is the design that she used. Let me get it on the black so you can really see it. This has the stripes. It looks like they're hand-drawn stripes. Parchment, like vellum, when it's printed, sometimes people ask, is there a right side and a wrong side? Well, there's a printed side and a non-printed side. So generally, the printed side, which is this one I'm showing you now, I turned it over, has a little more definition, and the back side of it is just a little paler. So your choice, it makes no difference. What I like that Lene did is she just used a strip of this, which is wonderful because that means you've got so much left, and this is a good technique with so many cards. And this is an 1.5 inches tall, and she just attached it. My favorite is to use a glue stick, rub it onto the area of the paper, not the parchment or the vellum, but onto the paper, and then press it down. That seems to work really well. So you can see that she has this spanning the card. That works nicely. Now, the dazzles that are there come from our Happy Birthday dazzle. There are 96 in this, and there are, let me see, 8 sheets in 8 colors. You can see the red is what she used here. And we have it in actually 3 fonts. This is the font that she used. There's another one, and then there's a script font. So that works out nicely. Now, I just wanted to show you, talked about the color, the images matching. This is the same image that's used in the topper collection. So you can see that you've got the balloons. The fireworks is in a different image in both of them. And then you also get the foiled cardstock and the printed cardstock. So you get that in all of them. So I just thought it'd be nice just to kind of show you how that links. And going to the inside of the card, well, what she used, of course, was the other side of that insert. So easy to do. Now, if you wanted to, you could certainly add a couple of things. One thing that comes to mind is if you trim just that edge of the dazzle sheet, you would have a very narrow border to place right on top of that border. Would give it a little bit of pop. You could also add another ribbon to the inside if you'd like to do that, but it's just perfect the way it is. So that's our first card. Now let's go to our second one. So you can see that memorable moments don't have to be life-changing moments or only a moment that you have once in your lifetime, but it can be like birthdays, and that's what makes this collection so much fun. Now, here is another one. Now, hopefully, this might be once in a lifetime or 2 or 3. We're not judging here. But this, as you can see, is for the happy couple. And again, this is our 5 by 6.5 inch card. And what Lene did is she used the adorable scorable that is foiled. And this is the one that goes with this particular collection. And you can see that she just used one section of it, really taking advantage of that foiled edge and trimming it just slightly smaller than her 5 by 6.5 inch card. So that provides a really pretty base to our card front. Now she's going back into that printed parchment, and look at this sheet. How pretty is that? Let me turn it over. How gorgeous is that? I love the lace look. And so she has trimmed down a piece to fit just on the top part, that pink part of her adorable scorable. And then she went into the topper, which has this, it's called Just Married, appropriate. And she used this image right here, and it's foiled, as you can see. And then to the happy couple is right here. So these two are foam taped. And then the ribbon comes from the white ribbon set. Oh, no, it doesn't. It comes from the glimmer ribbon, same one that she used on the first. So that creates a really beautiful card. And then on the inside, well, this is a technique that is unique to Lene. And she has taken the insert, trimmed it to fit inside the card, and scored it in the middle. Now she places the glue right down the fold and presses the paper in place. So in pressing that down into the glue, and of course she's using our Cosmic Shimmer Specialist glue, and that just goes right down, then she allows the edges to be unattached. Now if that bothers you, just put a little bit of glue there and a little bit of glue there and press them down. But I think it looks kind of elegant myself. So, and it does, again, duplicate the image that's on the front, which is always fun. Now, this die cut is right here, the beginning of Forever. Really, really nice. And then she's got a strip of, this is our thin line dazzles. And this comes, this is the pearl and pastel. There are 10 sheets, and I think there are 60 some pieces on each strip. So you've got a whole lot to go on. And it just adds a lovely little edge there, and that looks really nice. And you can see it goes just outside the printed area. Kind of a little bit of what I was talking about on the first card. So just really nice. Okay, so simple to do, quick to do, but lovely to see. Okay, now we're going to go into World's Greatest Dad. Now, isn't this pretty? All sparkly and shiny, which is really kind of nice because the guys don't only have to get brown things, they can get some foiling. And what Lene did is she took her 5 by 6.5 inch card, and cut the half of the front flap. So that's going to be 2.5 inches, leaving 2.5 inches. And just cut that off so that goes away. Then she has taken, this is the adorable scoreable from the topper set, and look at that foiling. And she has placed this like so, and just covered that front flap, okay? Now that's going to leave, can you see? It's going to leave a strip just like that. So this little bit is going to be left, and that is what she used to go to the inside of her card. Clever woman, don't you think? Looks really nice. And what I love is that when this is closed, you get that repeating pattern. So really, really nice. Now, in this case, this is the topper set, and it is titled, let me see, it is titled World's Greatest Dad, which is nice. And you can see that this has got all kinds of tools. And there are, as many times with Hunkydory, there are actually three layers here. So there's this piece, there is a gold frame, and then there's another outside frame. So what Lene did is she just used the middle one and the outside one, and she glued them to this parchment, which is the plaid. I love the fact that this is so useful. You could use the stripes for the masculine cards. I think the plaid works really, really nicely. So she simply glued the outside frame and then the middle frame in place, as you can see. The Just For You, well, of course, that's another piece right here, and that gets foam taped in place. She did trim around that outside piece and glued just the left side so that this, of course, stays open. And then coming in here, she would have had some glue showing. In fact, I'm sorry, this is foam tape. So she would have had foam tape showing. So she added this other piece right here just to cover that up, which is really nice. And then the World's Greatest Handyman, Dad, all of that is from that topper sheet. But just really nice. Again, what I love so much is that with Hunkydory, you get everything together and it all matches and it goes together beautifully. Now I have one more card, and this is a shaped card from Lene. And let me show you. So this is an easel card, and when I open it up like that, that's what you can do. And the easel card is really kind of something that's always in our toolbox, isn't it? Because it's such a good look, and it just adds another little bit of flair to our card making. Now in this case, Lene used our circle cutting dies, and she used the one that is 4 1/4 inches tall. And let me just show you. Here is how it is already cut out. You can see we have to cut it so that the dies extend beyond the fold on our regular cards. So let me show you how she did it. So she just placed it just like this. So you can see that that circle goes above the fold. That way the fold is going to stay intact. So it's super easy to do. Now you do want to do that out of the white card. And then you want to take it, and Lene recommends using the scoreboard. This is also by Hunkydory. And just placing this here and positioning, you kind of nest it into the framework and pull this out, which it's really in here. It sounds like I'm breaking it, but I'm really not. It just is really wedged in. And you just press right down to get your score. And you just pop that back on, so you've got your bone folder right there. And then this is halfway on our card front. Now, she has used this layer, excuse me, this sheet. This is called Deepest Sympathy. And in the silver foiling, you notice that some was gold and some was silver. And she's using the circular shape. Now this, like the one that I just showed you in the last card, this has 3 layers, a center, a frame, and an outside frame. She used all 3 together. Now you can just keep them together and glue them onto your card front, or you can glue them to a piece of cardstock if you want to, if you feel like they're a little floppy, which they might be. Okay, so here is what Lene did. So she cut out another full circle and then glued the pieces to it. And that worked perfectly. Now, this is going to get glued only to the front, the bottom half of her card front. And you might even just want to fold this just to make sure you kind of know where that is. So then you will have your foiled pieces glued to this. You're only going to glue the bottom area, and then that way it will allow it to stand up. And then these pieces were also part of that same sheet. All My Love. This is glued down. This is foam taped. The ribbon that she used is our 1/8 inch ribbon. Now, you wouldn't think that 1/8 of an inch would really give you much pow, but it just adds a bit of texture, a bit of color, and supports the colors in this card. Now, inside the card, here is what she used. Give you another look at that. And you know what I didn't tell you? I told you a lie. I am so sorry. I told you that she cut it out of white cardstock. She didn't. She cut it out of the adorable Squirrel. This is not the foiled one, but this is the regular one. So rewind, take that circle and place it on a scored piece. You want to score this so it's scored in half, and then do the same steps that I said. Okay, do you forgive me for misspeaking? So sorry. And that's going to be her card base, okay? And you can see what's kind of nice is that you could do it where the flowers are the whole thing, or you can do what Lene did and let this ribbon be at the bottom, okay? So that's really nice. And then this is part of that sheet. It is also foam taped in place. And so you get a really nice look for the front of the card, but also for the inside and the inside front, as well as the inside back. So that's really nice. Okay, so we've got that. So you can see that not only do you get things for memorable occasions, but kind of for everyday things too, for birthdays, for just thinking of you, as well as the parchment, which I just super love. Did I mention there are 16 sheets? You get 2 each of the 8 designs, and Lene, I think, used 3 of them, so you can just imagine. And as always, the little book of memorable moments. Well, I want to thank you for joining us. Thank you for being part of our Paper Wishes family. If you are watching us on YouTube, please head over to Paper Wishes. We would love for you to take advantage of that money saver that's always on the right side of your screen. Can you say that with me? I know you hear it every single time. And down below are the cards that Lene made, and down below that will be all the materials that were used. So thank you so much for being with us, and as I said, for being part of the Paper Wishes family. We'll see you next time.